Hello, everyone. My name is Paul Third, and this week on Mixing Wednesday, I am going to be going back to the mix that I did last week. I did AI versus human, which was me, and we compared the sonible smart AI plugins versus the mixing decisions that I did. Now, the results from the poll were very, very interesting. Actually, it was a very close split with the sonible, the smart AI stuff, marginally just beating me, which is okay, it's fine, as there was over 100 and odd votes, and a lot of you voted for my mix, which was okay. But in terms of the feedback that I got, there were still things in the sonible mix that people didn't like. A lot of people were saying, like with me, I felt kind of maybe just a little bit muffled, needed kind of brightened up a little bit and just maybe opened up a little bit less mids. And then kind of the opposite with my track. On reference listening back, it is true, my mix was maybe a little bit too overhyped in the mids, maybe a little bit too bright, and maybe could do with a little bit more low mids. So I thought, right, this is the perfect opportunity to try out Gulfoss for the first time. Now, Gulfoss from Sound Theory is probably one of the most popular, intelligent, like master bus EQs on the market. I know so many engineers that use it and swear by it. So today I'm going to try and use Gulfoss to fix both mixes. The stuff that was lacking in the sonible and the stuff that was maybe too much in my mix. Try and bring more life into this, maybe try and kind of soften this mix and see if they come together and test just how good Gulfoss truly is. Let's do it. Right, now let's kind of get our head around the controls of Gulfoss, because it's not going to be a long video, but just so you can kind of understand the way that I've used it and kind of how I understand it. Now, there is two main functions that you kind of set first in Gulfoss, and that's the recover and tame. Recover, they call it dominant and dominated frequencies. Recover, they're talking more about the dominated frequencies, and you can control how much of the recovery happens, how much of those dominated frequencies you bring back. And then you've got tame, which is your dominant frequencies. So for my mix, it's probably going to be those mids, maybe the 3 and 5K that have maybe overhyped, and you could choose to tame that. And then from there, you've got a bias. Now, the bias in my head is basically you telling the algorithm how much of a bias it is going to have between the recovery and the tame, which of the recovery and the tame it should bias more, and how much more of the effect overall it should give. I think I'm still trying to get my head around it. I might be wrong. And then you've got a brightness, which is obviously very, very simple. How much more brightness do you want to add? How much brightness do you want to take away? And then lastly, you've got the boost function. And if I'm right, the boost function is you telling it how much kind of it wants to prioritize the low end. So if you kind of want more lows and more low mids and more kind of weight into the mix, then you use the boost function, and then you could boost the lows, or again, you could take the lows away and focus more on the mid-range. I might not have picked it up right, but that's kind of my understanding, and using it, that's kind of how it kind of made sense more to me, okay? But if I'm wrong, then please let me know in the comments. Right, okay, now with all that said and done, let's get straight into this audio comparison. So I'll have the two settings here, so the way I've set Gulfoss. So here will be the sonible smart AI mix, and here is going to be my mix. So as you can see, I've used them differently. In the sonible, I'm trying to kind of add in a little bit more recovery. I want to add more of that excitement, more of those frequencies in, because I do feel kind of it's a little bit masked. And in my mix, you can see that again, I'm boosting a lot more, because I'm wanting to add in kind of more of the lows in there, and I'm using the tame quite a lot. Now, the hard thing about the tame is that the tame really does kind of like open up the mix more. Gives it a little bit kind of more pockets, as I like to call them, but you've got to be careful of the vocal. Sonible mix, what it kind of does is the vocal kind of wants to like thin out a little bit too much, so it's trying to find have that balance. And then in my mix, again, it was maybe because I had so much and so much sibilance in it, and it's like too much kind of overhyped mids, it was kind of really wanting to like soften it too much and rein it in too much. So it's all about finding a balance, and this is kind of what I hope I've achieved. So let's get straight into the audio examples. First one is going to be the original Smart AI mix versus what I did in Gulfoss, and then we're going to have my original mix with what I did in Gulfoss, side by side. Let's do it.
Never applied for pictures or portraits, though a past still shines bright. I never required a sailing of fortune. son of the south side, till it's skipped off last time. She never cries when she cries upon her. Love is keeping her way. Skies on tissue prevail, streaming longing in vain. Sail, baby, won't you pass them by? Sail, baby, no evils or gods will hide. Sail, baby, I've been looking there for your love, but you never came back, never came back.
Right, okay. Now, hopefully what you can hear, again, it is all subjective, but from what I can hear, I was able to add in the things that the sonible mix was lacking, and I've been able to kind of soften and tame the kind of harshness that was in my mix. Very akin to like the smoothness that we heard in the sonible. Where in the sonible gulfoss mix, I just feel like I've been able to add in more energy, kind of take that away and kind of open up the mix a little bit more, add a little bit more depth. Okay, the vocal is maybe a little bit thinned out, but it's because I maybe think I had a little bit too much low mids in there. And I just think I've been able to kind of make the mix a little bit more open. I think that's, to me, sonible is a little bit more open. My mix is maybe a little bit kind of more smoother overall. Right, okay, so we've done the side-by-sides, original versus gulfoss. Let's do the two gulfoss and let's see which one we prefer. Okay, so we're going to have the sonible gulfoss and my mix gulfoss. Let's compare.
Never aspired the son of the south side, till it's skipped off last time. She never cries when she cries upon her. Love is keeping her way. Skies on tissue prevail, streaming longing in vain. Sail, baby, won't you pass them by? Sail, baby, no evils or gods will hide. Sail, baby, I've been looking there for your love, but you never came back, never came back. Saving all my love for you, but you go.
Now, how interesting was that? What I can't believe is that the two original mixes, it was night and day. And see, when I'm switching, I kind of feel that they've not met in the middle. I think I've actually maybe taken too much brightness off my mix, and maybe I could maybe dial that back a little bit, maybe have the brightness to maybe -4, -5. Maybe I hit it a little bit too hard because I was so focused on smoothing out, because I was bypassing it in and out, and it was all about, right, okay, can I really, how far can I smooth my original mix out? But obviously in the sonible mix, I'm doing the exact opposite, so my ear's trying to make it a little bit more brighter. But it's very interesting how I feel that the sonible mix is now a little bit brighter, and my mix is now a little bit duller in comparison. It's amazing how I was able to take gulfoss and get one to do one thing, another to do the opposite. In terms of like which mix I prefer, I don't actually know. I don't know. It's hard because I've been listening for so long and I've listened to this mix for so long. I would send either or. Genuinely, I think what it's done to the sonible mix is way more important than what it's done to my mix. I think what the gulfoss has shown is that it is so intelligent, and because the parameters do so much, but the workflow of it is so simple, it's just a genius plugin. I think they've managed to take something that's so obviously complicated. The algorithm is so unbelievably complicated, but gave you a workflow that's really, really simple and intuitive to use. And yes, is it worth the money? I probably would say it is worth the money. It hardly ever goes on a deal, and I could see why, because it is so unbelievably intelligent. But what I do want you guys to do is I will create another poll, and I want you guys to pick which mix you would prefer. If we were to say, right, that's the mix finished. Now, there's more I could have done to the mix. I know, I'm not bothered. It's just a session mix. I could have added samples in. I could have put in transient designers in. I could have added in delays and stuff. But it's just for the channel, and I'm not really that bothered. So there is going to be a poll, and in the comment section below, again, let me know your thoughts, how you use Gulfoss, and also which mix you preferred, and also vote in the poll. I'm loving, honestly, getting into all these like geeky, like smart AI plugins, because the more I use them and the more I'm thinking about them, I'm like, I now understand why you are all using them, but you're cheeky buggers, and you're not telling me. It's like as soon as I've done the sonible, you're like, why? Oh, I use that. Hey, I use it too. I'm like, I'm coming at the woodwork now. Really, I'm sitting here trying to do everything myself. I can slugging it away. But yeah, I'm getting really, really interested by it, and there's I might maybe try out the sonible smart reverb as well. Do a couple of comparisons, but it's all great geeky stuff. And if you have liked this great geeky stuff, then please like this video, consider subscribing, because there's tons more geeky stuff to come. And as always, guys, thank you very much for your time. My name is Paul Third, Mixing Wednesdays, and I'll see you again next week.